Welcome everybody, my name's Roy Alexander. I'm the Director of the Dark Sky Observatory at Battlestead and of Astro Ventures. I'm here today to talk to you about the moon and things that are happening with the moon on Friday, this Friday. It's been reported in the press that we're going to have a black moon. And there's lots of people saying this is going to foretell the end of the world, Jesus is coming back, all that kind of stuff's happening. Not going to talk about that. Don't believe in the vast majority of all of that kind of stuff. So that's for other people to deal with. What I want to look at is really just what's actually happening out there in space. So first of all, what's not happening is one or two things that have been reported in the media about basically the illuminated side of the moon falling into the Earth's shadow, and therefore we're going to get a very dark moon. Now, for that to happen, that does happen sometimes, and that's called a lunar eclipse. For that to happen, you have to have this set up. So the sun has to be aligned with the Earth and the moon in this way. The sun's shining on the Earth. There's a bit of a shadow of the Earth here. We call that the night time. So when it's night time, we're in the Earth's shadow. And then sometimes, if it's all lined up perfectly, the moon orbits through that shadow. And you get a full moon turning into an eclipsed full moon. And then you get a full moon again. And we had that this time last year. That isn't what's happening on Friday, okay? So don't get confused by that. What's happening on Friday is this. We've got the sun, and this time the moon's in fact on entirely the other side of the Earth. And the far side of the moon that we don't normally see, we never see it really, because the near side is the side that's always facing us. Well, that's the side that's illuminated by the sun, which means that this side of the moon is in its own shadow. This is the night time. So all that's basically happening is we on Earth are experiencing a normal new moon. The new moon is what it's called when it's completely dark. In fact, you can't see it because the reason that you can't see it is because the sun and the moon are lined up perfectly. When the sun sets, the moon's with it. So you never really get to see that. The reason it's called a black moon is because it's happening twice. In September this year, we had a new moon right at the start of the month. We're having a new moon again. And that's happening because basically the moon goes from new to full and back to new every 28 days. Months last 30 to 31 days. So every now and then, every couple of years or so, we get two new moons. That's it. Nothing really much more exciting than that, I'm afraid. So, if the world is ending, if you wake up on Saturday morning and hellfire is raining down, Jesus is back, and other things are happening, then I apologise for being wrong about that. But I suspect that what's going to happen is we're all going to wake up on Saturday. It's going to be a fairly normal day for most of you. There is talk of this black moon being Lilith in astrology. And that, from what I can tell, refers to the fact that the orbit of the moon around the Earth isn't perfectly circular. It's an ellipse, and for those of you that don't know, that's basically a flattened rugby ball. Most circles, all circles have one point in the centre that the orbit is centered upon. So when the moon is going around, it's in a circular orbit. If that was the case, you'd have one center, one focus point of that. But with an ellipse, the way ellipses work is that you get two central points, if you like. Mathematically, they're called focal points or foci, and one of those foci is referred to as Lilith, the dark moon or the black moon. It's astrology. That's totally not a science. It's fair to say it's hokum. If you're interested in that, then Carl Sagan, the noted and famous astronomer, has done many TV programs and things about it, far better than I ever could. So just look for him. Thank you for that. Sorry that this is not fantastically well edited. I'm sure that in time my editing and my video skills will be better and better. I'm doing this at home, so you might have heard my kids running around in the background. Don't panic. The skies will be very dark, so if it's clear on Friday night, as it is on any new moon night, go outside, have a look up, get away from light pollution, and you'll see maybe the Milky Way. You'll see many, many, many stars, thousands of stars. There's also a lot of geomagnetic disturbance going on at the moment, so maybe we'll see some aurora borealis. Anyway, till next time, take care. Bye bye.